Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining. It's August 14th, 2025. It's also Thursday. We're getting inflation numbers in a little bit here, or at least they're reported inflation numbers. We know they're going to continue, as well as the jobless claims is really what's going to be on watch for what the Federal Reserve is looking forward as far as cuts. Now, still talking about a likely quarter point cut in September is what they're looking forward to. But if the inflation data comes in hot, they probably will not do that. Would not be good for the market. So let's get started with what's going on in these markets. Now, we've got the fear greed meter is definitely still in greed territory from yesterday. Did continue, was a bit of buying toward the end of the day. It started slowing up. However, record all-time highs again. These markets are just absolutely resilient with all of the inflation going on. People want to keep their money in something that is not losing so much purchasing power as the US dollar. So we've got currently markets in the green. This could change very quickly after the reports and data they are prior to the market open. We've got the futures seeing a bit of weakness, little uncertainty here. So this is the caution on inflation coming out. If the inflation is too hot, that would, in short, curb the chances that the Federal Reserve will cut rates, and the market will not like that. So we are watching the reaction and the Fed expectations for this cuts. And then on the other side of this, we've got oil is up slightly, and this is because there is a lot hedging on these peace talks between Ukraine and Russia that are supposed to happen this weekend. So the markets are in short looking forward to that, and I think that would be good for oil if they have peace talks because that the supply would open up a bit and not have to pay such high third-party prices. So we've got the 10-year yield down slightly. So is the relative strength of the dollar. That is inflation coming out. In reality, we've got cryptocurrencies did hit a high yesterday. There's a lot of money flowing into ETH specifically because now it's coming out with more ETFs and things for Ethereum is the short story of it. So it's the winner currently. They're pulling back a bit this morning, but I expect them to continue after this inflation number if it does indeed show hot. So this morning, jobless claims and PPI producer inflation. So that's the inflation coming from down the road. And we get those numbers prior to the market open. Now, I want to talk about a couple of other things. The first, Hapag-Lloyd is a large shipping company. So they're handling all the movement of goods globally. They're lowering their 2025 earnings forecast and looking at savings. Now, this is a sign of a softening economy and trouble ahead as far as actual logistics. So we've got to watch that as well as the emerging markets now. First, back to Ethereum. This is a little bit of a backing saying that artificial intelligence agents are becoming power users. This is according to Coinbase. So, of course, their pumping is a part of one of their products. They do make money off of the fees for Ethereum. So, taking that with a bit of a grain of salt, but Ethereum nonetheless doing much better this morning. Now, we've got Bridgewater. This is a major hedge fund. They were very bullish China. They're also retreating from China, shifting billions back into United States mega cap tech. So not the only one seeing the shifting waters from underneath. What this is doing with all of the new tariff policy and the foreign trade trying to balance out this trade is it's giving a little bit more room to run for the United States stock market and United States denominated assets. So we've got the shift coming back. However, the real economy is, I like to keep them separate because what you're going to see on Main Street is still going to be more, I believe, going forward, more job losses, it looks like, and a little bit more softening of the economy because inflation is going to continue. So price pressuring the lower class, if you will, and that will increase. That's not going away anytime soon. So, a couple of other things to kind of back up what is going on. The first is Air Canada planning to lock out all of their flight attendants. There is a strike going on. They wanted to demand higher wages. So the company instead is deciding to lock them out until a full agreement is made. So if you're planning on traveling using them this weekend or beyond, you may want to make alternate plans. So they will be shutting as opposed to kind of giving in to these job seekers that want more money. So we're watching a shift definitely in this labor market. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is the talks again about the economic cooperation at this Alaska summit. So, this will involve oil as well as a lot of other trade agreements. So, this could definitely have an effect on the price. Oil is on a watch and see at the moment because lower demand could also drop pricing. So, that's just the probabilities at the moment. So, with this, I wish you all a wonderful trading day. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.